Okay, there we go. Sorry. Technical difficulties. I was listening to stuff on my computer while I was working on other things, and I think I left my. Well, I know I did. I did, in fact. I did, in fact, do it, and I just feedbacked everybody. So apologies for that. Welcome to Peace of Pat Paints. I'm Pat. We're off to a rocky start. Today has been all sorts of crazy rocky in general. So, you know, that's... Anyway, we are going to get started. It's Monday. It's a Monday show. This is how the Monday shows go. I cleaned up my studio. I'm very happy about it. It's much cleaner than it was. I mean, not that y'all really see a lot of it, but, you know. Anyway, it's fun for me. I spent a lot of time on it this weekend. And then, you know, doing other things. To get things ready for us today. Also got some fun things to kind of look at. I was working on, so number one, you know, my kids, they leave brushes in water, so I've been restoring some paintbrushes. I just got done getting these guys the old paint chipped off of them, and we put some primer on them, and we're gonna get them, you know, we're gonna start putting some, maybe do another round of sanding now that we've got some of this to stand up. We can pull some of that off of there, and then we can just drop another round of paint on these guys. You know, so I was doing that this weekend, and then I was fixing some other brushes. We'll see if we can get them to work. My kids ground them into stuff, and then now they're all kind of messed up. So anyway, let's go over to the paint cam, and we'll get rid of my face. Knock this line guy around. These are the two I was talking about. Now this is an 18/0, and this is a 10/0, and they're very small, but they got frayed real bad. So I washed them several times yesterday. I think I've almost got all the gobbledygook out of them, but we still got a little bit of a hook. And we might be able to eventually work that out. Lots of cleaning left to go. Lots of stuff left to do with it. There we go. Now you can see it. So, anyway, and you can kind of see that hook. If I can get it to stay focused when it goes to the black. There we go. So you can see the hook on that brush. And I'm trying to fix that hook. And when I found this brush, it was basically just a white dot on the tip of it. Same with this one. And I don't know where these brushes came from, but they were in my kids brush kit. And I was like, hey, let's see if we can fix those with the soap. That'd be a fun thing to look at. And see, this one the hook is even more pronounced. And you know, right now we've got to get all the old paint out, and you can still see some of the white paint on this one. Yeah, I can get it to come on, pop for us. There we go. And you can still see kind of the white paint on there. Is that from Soft Figure, or you 3D printed it? My client bought this. We'll go ahead and pull him over. My client bought this off of Etsy. It is a 3D print. The company that 3D printed it is Bulkamancer. I don't know that that's who... well, actually, that's who would have created the STL. I don't know if this is the people who are selling it on Etsy, or if he bought it from a person who has a license to print these. But I did not print this myself. Now, I might have to print one of his hands, because one of his hands is missing. And we can't figure out what it's missing from. But here's our model that we are currently working on. He's looking great. Ooh, looking splendiferous. I keep forgetting I haven't glued that piece in. we did a little freehand fun on the back. It's not super. It's not super too to lore accurate, because the lore, he has a very, it's hard to see exactly what this is that's down around his cloak. So I kind of had a little fun with that. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment, friend. But yeah, I'm really happy with him. We're gonna start working on Serosh today, after I get done running my mouth about things that probably most people didn't come here for, about paint brushes that I'm trying to fix. Anyway, that's just the way I sometimes that's the way I roll. So with Serosh, I'm not sure exactly how you say it. It sounded like he said Serosh when I listened to it several times in the animation. Because of course I haven't played this game. Get some music started. But so I'm not exactly sure what we want to do with him, because he's ethereal in some of it, and he's so big. So in some of this, he's kind of like ethereal, right? Is this the same as paying 40k figurines? Yeah, just on like a much bigger scale. So like, and I've got some 40k back here. I'm working on some Tyranids right now. That's one of my little termagants, and I got a Barbron to finish. This guy's completely done. We did this on the show a while back. It's been a while since we worked on Tyranids, but it's fun. It's great. We worked a lot on the Leviathan set. There he goes. Now he popped in. He's good. He's standing on a road, the road stripes. So yeah. We paint a lot of different stuff on the show, and this isn't a whole lot dissimilar from painting like a larger Warhammer piece. It's maybe a little bit, the details are a little different, and resin's a lot more fragile. If you haven't worked with resin before, it's a lot more fragile. So anyway, we've got to get a little bit, we need to come back and finish up his primer that I did not finish up because I was in the middle of doing other stuff. Anyway, but I think I got called away to dinner. Is what happened. Dinner is a thing that I'm going to get called away to. See, David Cunningham back. Better than standing in the road. Yeah. So, yeah, 40k has some really great figures. I love painting their stuff. 40k models are made for painters too. This is made for display. So like a lot of this has a lot. There's the same tricks you can use, but you also have. There's more you can obscure. So you have to make sure that that your paints are thin enough and that you're working in the right way to give yourself the best opportunities to make these successful. So anyway, what I've got to figure out is what I want to do with Serosh here, because there's two different versions of him. There's the version where he is, let me put him down before I drop him. We don't want to do that. That would not be fun. So like in this form, he's like ethereal, But then, like a lot of these other things have him kind of more like a white lion. Yeah, he's light gold when he's like that, but then he apparently like comes to life in part of it, where he becomes like a white lion. And that's how they kind of did it. This is a photo of the people who created the model itself, and their painting of it. So they did it more like an actual lion, which is probably going to be easier to do. Doing an ethereal paint job on this guy would lose a lot of the. Oh, you'd lose a lot of the fun parts of it, because with him being a white lion, we can do more with this face If it's just ethereal, then it's just gonna be the gold. It's all gonna be one color, you know. We won't have the. See, Vladimir says he's light gold, and then do you have one paint for skin, or do you mix two light ones? So skin actually, I'll do a lot of different blending. Actually, we were doing skin earlier on the other day, and you can see kind of where my work comes from. So I'll have 2 or 3 different colors, and then I'll blend in some other stuff. And it really kind of depends on the skin tones. If you're going for, you know, European and white American skin tones, are North American, are going to have, you know, more of a pinkish color with like a redishness to it. Whereas like if you were doing African Americans or people from Africa, then your base tones are going to be very different. And the same with if you're doing, you know, if you're trying to make a Hispanic look, or, you know, I'm going to do these Japanese guys pretty soon. And the way I'll do these skin tones will have to be very different than this guy, who was, from all the material, he definitely looked to be Viking-esque, European. So his skin tone is going to be more pinkish and less, you know, if he was Hispanic, it would be more tan. The Asians have, there's a little bit more of olivey, ochre color to their skin sometimes when they, especially if they've been out in the sun. They can even get pretty tan, you know, so it just depends on the colors. But yeah, I'll use 2 or 3 different colors, and then I'll mix a lot of stuff. No, well, I haven't yet. My nephew does. My nephew loves the Gundam stuff. He was really into that. I don't know if he still does it. He's he's in high school now, and he does more like running and stuff like that nowadays. So he might have gotten away from that, because I haven't really asked him about his modeling. You know, modeling, it ebbs and flows. So I think we should do some test work on one of these arms for Serosh before we get too far. And that way we have kind of a look. I need to plug this one up, so that obviously isn't the arm we want to test on. We'll test on this arm. So this will give us... There we go, now you can see. So this will give us something to kind of get an idea what we want to do. Is it stressful to paint 40K? I mean, if you make it stressful, you can make anything stressful, and you can make things fun too. You kind of decide that on your own. If you want it to be super stressful, it's definitely going to be super stressful. But you know, if you like what you're doing and you just kind of develop a rhythm for it. Or get some people together, you know. Yeah, one of the best parts about 40K is there's a lot of other people that are doing it, so you can easily develop some friendships and hang out at a game store together, paint some stuff, or go to each other's house. You know, you can make it more fun than it has to be, or you can stress yourself out about it. You know, that's kind of up to you, I guess. Okay, so this is a Payne's gray. It's like a really dark blue, gray blue, and we're going to use this as our base, very dark base here, and then we're going to bring it all the way up to white from here. And we're going to put this in, especially in any places where there's going to be some transition. And it's okay if this goes on pretty thick. I'm not really worried about it. Right now I'm just trying to kind of block out some of his muscle areas and the tones. And you could cover this whole thing in Payne's gray if you really wanted to, and just go from there. I kind of want to give myself a little bit more leeway here than that. And here we go with seeing we're going to be blending that. Kind of like what you were saying with your two colors, Vladimir. I'm going to paint this kind of in between, and then we're going to come back and we're going to start adding white to that. Well, we're going to gradually keep bringing the white up. And this is mostly just dropping some markers down. Now we're going to come back. We might even add a little bit more Payne's Gray before we move on. The full-on dark Payne's Gray. It kind of depends on what we need for the different areas. Because in order to get this white lion to look pretty white, oop, that's a little too white. You need some undertone, and we don't want it to make it black. But we do want it pretty dark. And a gray is going to be a good one. A little bit darker for the inside of that armor. Just a little bit darker right there coming out from underneath it. Alright, we're starting to get a little bit of that form going. Hey, Mr. McBeardsley. Hello, hello. How was the weekend? Finally started getting into Serosh. Very nice. Yes. And I decided to go. We're just gonna make him a white, the kind of the white lion look. Trying to make him translucent is gonna lose some of our color options, because you know they'd just be one color then. And really, if we wanted to do something like that, it kind of needed to have been painted in, or printed in clear. Like, we just weren't going to be, I don't think we're going to be able to get it to look exactly right. Let that dry for just a second. I definitely need to start really lightening it up from here, but we want it to dry up. Alright. Alright, here we're going to try to let our brush strokes keep them kind of going in the same direction. It'll help us make it kind of feel like fur. Get it back where we can see it. I think having him as a bold white line will work out great either way. Yeah, I kind of feel like it's gonna work out, because you know there's that scene when, like, I guess you have to fight the second version of Godfrey where he's turned into, like, he rips the thing off his shoulder because he says that'll be enough or whatever, that'll be all or whatever he says. And you can see that at some point, I guess the lion can come off of him and get crunked or whatever, you know. Which I kind of like that idea. Again, let your brush strokes. See, I'm kind of keeping my brush strokes to look like it's got some movement to it. We kind of want to do that. And like I've said this, I said it 100 times. I'll say it 100 more. White will fade on you. It is the nature of white. It will fade away a little bit. So unless you let it sit and dry completely in a big pool, you're gonna see some bits of color underneath, which is why we did all that pre-work underneath him, so that we could come back and start to get this effect. Because this is, let's see, which arm is this? Yep, this is this arm. I thought so. Okay, so this arm is going to go right here, right? And this is where we kind of need to start fitting it. We kind of need to start fitting it on the model so we can see where our light is going to be hitting him, because that is going to help us with this. And seeing how all our movement is this way. His hair is moving this way. All this stuff is moving this way. Yeah, I think he's going to look great as a white lion. We'll have a little bit more chances of... There's more we can do. Making him just ethereal is... I hate to say boring, because it's not boring. It's cool when it's moving, is the thing. Like, that stuff looks so neat when it's able to move around. But when it's not moving, it kind of loses a little bit of its fun, I suppose. Way to stay that. We'll pull that off now that we know for sure which direction we're going and where our light is. Which we did great. That's why I wanted to lighten this up a lot more. I'm probably going to need to do a few more layers on this top part. I'm going to move this over. I think that's what's wrong. There we go. Yep, that's better. Gotta get better at making sure these cameras are in the right spot. The trick here is to not precisely overlap those strokes. You want gaps on. You want gaps in between where you're making one stroke and another, especially if it's a valley. Like this is a little bit of a valley here. Same thing here. We want to make sure our strokes are ending before they go into the valley and starting on the other side, and that's going to give us. So now it's starting to look a little bit like fur, right? And this can take a while. Like this can take you several rounds of strokes to get that finer looking fur. Beardsley, I did some painting this weekend. Hey, hell yeah, bro. I took my bathroom from a dingy dark gray to a white showing in the texture because of a lazy paint job. Now it's to a nice green sage. Well, I got a little excited. I thought you painted some miniatures, but I think that's awesome too, man. I'm so glad you got that done. I know how a funky bathroom paint job can kind of get things a little irritatable. It just kind of gets like it gets tiresome. It's like questioning other people's judgment. Like, why did you paint it this color? What are you doing? But you know, it is what it is. I'm glad you got it done though. That's a hell of a lot of work. Hell of a lot of work. And again, we want to make sure we're checking those shadows too. So like, all right, here we'd have a little bit of a tangle of hair where they're going in a couple different directions. That would be normal with any kind of creature, right? Yeah, we want to kind of stop in those places. And you can still see where our darker stuff was when we started. And you can kind of still see that playing underneath. It's going to help give us that muscle, right? And this is why we do test stuff, guys. This is why you want to kind of, like, if I mess this up, I could just strip this and it's not going to be a big deal. I didn't do it all over his face or whatever. Let's see, what do we... Mr. Beardsley, yeah, it took 2 layers of primer to cover the gray. Yeah, that sounds right. And 2 layers of green to really bring it out. Also, took off the crappy mirror they had plastered on and mounted a nice free medicine cabinet. Yeah, the medical cabinets are... People discount how valuable having a medical cabinet is. Oh, sorry, I need some coffee there. I was running behind today because I was trying to get. Yesterday I spent so much time cleaning, I didn't get all my my Fallout duties done. So I had to I was scrambling this morning trying to get it done. You know, the important things in life. Now, that's kind of unnecessary getting all the way down in there, but why the heck not, right? Why the heck not? We're even going to do a little bit in here. We might go ahead and bring this down a little, though. Maybe not quite so stellar white. All right, let's take a look. That's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. because that's really going to show up against that gold when we put the gold on. I might want to go a little bit further. Actually, I think we need to switch down a brush. Go to this 4. Now we've got the idea. It's just repeating what we're doing. And remember, our light source is up here at the top of this arm. The main thing is just make sure you're going in the same direction. Keep your direction on point. Rasmussen, hey, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. We made some choices. We're going to go with making Serosh a white lion, so we have more options on coloration. If we do it the ethereal look, then he's gonna, yeah, it's gonna be fun. So this is our test. This is we're testing. So I'm trying to get the white lion look. Because I'm kind of taking the idea from when he transforms, and he's about to. I guess when you beat him the first time, and yet the lion starts to come off of his back, and he says, "That'll be enough now." And so I'm gonna kind of go for that lion. It's gonna give us more opportunity for color. And overall, I think we'll have a better. It'll be a better look. If it had been printed clear, we could have done it, and it probably would have turned out pretty good with the translucent. But like I said earlier, translucent stuff actually looks better when it's moving. It looks all right when it's not. You know, it looks pretty cool, but when it's not moving. Yeah, the phase transition has the lion become more realistic. So IG is Godfrey will specifically be the Godfrey in that moment. Yeah, I mean it can definitely be that, or or maybe just a Godfrey in a different fight. It doesn't even have to be the, who knows. I just from the I know it's going to look good on the paint job. I know it's going to look good, and this seems like. After watching that scene, God, I watched that scene like 7 times on Saturday. I kept watching it over and over again. I think I drove my family kind of nuts with it. But I decided that this is what's going to give us the best look. This is going to be closer, or a better, overall better look to the sculpt itself. I have full confidence you will be able to make this work. I appreciate that. Thank you. I do not. Not all the time. I'm pretty sure I'll be okay. I usually get this to work pretty well. I've got the skills. I just have to get the. Right now, it's making sure I'm hitting the right tone for the subject matter. And that's a different kind of thing beyond skill. That's interpretation, and that's where you really, I kind of like that part. Oh, that is sad. Well, thanks for coming by, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks. I'll get this thing knocked out, and then over the next couple of days, So, you know, come and go as you please, guys. Appreciate you. Excited to see when you're done. Yeah, brother. See you later. So, yeah, just kind of. You got to remember that it's sitting on the model this direction. Oh, get on there. There we go. So that kind of helps. Sometimes it helps to go ahead and put it on the model and paint it on the model a little bit. Just to kind of get an idea of where you're going and what you're doing. And you see how we're using those spots where we had set up earlier. Kind of help define those muscles and define that movement. A little too much, a little too much, a little too much. So then we'll put, that's not the right one, it's this one. And that will have that same color pattern. See, and that's all going to sit underneath it. But it has the right look, right? See, back in there, we leave that shadow. Yeah. I like it. I like it. And it looks like hair. We did a pretty good job. I'm pretty excited about that. People tease me about my cat mobile, and I was prepping. See, I was getting myself ready. It's like, man, we're gonna have to paint some fur, y'all. Fur, serious fur. So, all right, well, armor is armor. I'm not seriously worried about the armor. Now, the question with that though is, do we want to make that armor be gold, or yeah, see, because in this piece, I love this interpretation. I really think it's the best one. And it has that, like, almost like a reddish silver. That's crazy. He's super white in this. Okay. Obscure too much. We gotta definitely keep getting that white to come up a little bit more. Do the same thing here with this other one. Start off with a nice dark Payne's gray color. And we're rolling pretty good today, guys. We could probably switch to a number 1 here. Or something a little bigger. We'll get this number 1 we're trying to fix. It really upsets me. This is a good number 1 in my lovely children. This one makes me a little irritated. That's alright. That's alright. I'll just get another brush. I'm going to fix this one so that my kids can use it. And I can use it while I'm waiting to go get a new brush. Or waiting on YouTube to pay for my art supplies. Come on, YouTube. Speaking of which, you guys can help me with that. If you like what we're doing, you and you want to help me grow and get things, and get YouTube to pay for my art supplies, then give us those likes and subscribes. That certainly does help. Eventually we're going to get to a place where we can get some tips and super chats, and then hopefully from there we'll graduate to the big leagues, and we'll have YouTube paying for it. That's the goal, right? That'd be fun. So yeah, give us a share. Tell your modeling friends, painting friends, art friends, people who just like to see people do stuff live, whatever. Spread us around. I think we have a pretty good time. We got a bunch of people we got a couple regulars that come by that are entertaining. I'm kind of amusing. You know, it works out. Plus, you're sporting like a real artist, doing real art stuff. We don't always just paint sculptures too. We do other things. Sometimes we actually make sculptures. How you like that? Huh? Okay. Go ahead and get all the way around in there. Just because you're not going to see any of it, but it's just going to help it not catch any, not reflect any light back out of it. Which is what we do. We don't want that to happen. Yeah, that was much faster. Dry out. Hurry up. Where's our can? I got a new air can, guys. That's fun. Hyper dry. Okay. Let's draw on this side. You could do this with a dry brush too. Probably be a little bit faster since this is actually already kind of set up to be here. I kind of like doing those individual strikes on it too still. At least for this initial deal. Because remember, it's white, so a lot of that's going to soak right in and fade away for us. And it's just very lightly. Whoop. I'll say that and then I go crazy. Very lightly flicking the brush over the top of it. Right? I'm just kind of pulling it up. Kind of follow the hair, whichever way it's going. Don't spend too much time on one space right now. Just kind of keep on keeping on. Alright, remember, it's gonna fade a little bit. And we're gonna come back through here. We're gonna hit it up again and again and again, until it's the white we want. And don't forget to do your inside. This may be the only time we do the inside, is just this one pass through. We want it to stay darker. We don't want it to be as light, because it's the shadowed part of the fur, so we don't want it too bright. Get it up towards the tip so we can get more light in. Because that's how it really would work, you know. The hair would let the light in as you got a little closer. Like I said, this may be our only pass here on this inside. Okay. Get our little dry brush here. You can always tell Pat's been dry brushing because he's got some sort of weird mark on his arm, or his hand. Sure better believe I've been dry brushing. Alright, how's this going? Now I'm tripping. Did I pick the wrong hand again? I did not. Put it on the model, and then we'll get it all figured out. Good night. Okay. I did pick up the wrong hand. That's the wrong arm. I'm a goober. Oh well. Let's put this one on and look at this one. See which way it's supposed to go. Okay, so the light's coming from the top. Oh, jeez. That's funny. And you can see how your dry brush just isn't going to get everywhere in there. So that's why We definitely wanted to do those earlier movements to get him I can't believe I did the wrong side. That's funny. It kind of sucks, but it's funny too. As you can see, it doesn't take very long to get this done, so no big deal. Now those are supposed to go together. You can see how that would be, how that would look on top of each other. We could even, if we wanted to gold them out a little bit, we could even try that. I got an idea now. That's not a bad idea. And remember, this is all, we're trying to figure out what we want to do here. We would still have time if we felt like we needed to. We would have time to redo this whole thing if we felt like that's what we needed to do. And that's why you test the small areas. Oh yeah, I like this. I like this. Just that faint bit of gold. And that was just a little Naples Yellow we just added to it. Pretty standard color in our repertoire. We use this color quite a lot. Yeah, and that gives us a little bit of that harken back to the yellow he was before, or when he transformed, and gives it that little bit more of that lion yellow, because it, you know, even when you get really close to white lions, they're not exactly white. Pretty close, but not precisely white. We get a little crazier with this one too. We can bring this over on top of a lot of stuff. Now that we've done that base work in there, you're going to give us a little bit more leeway. Still leaving that gray as a nice shadow. The same idea. Keep that fur going in those same directions that we had established before. Real good example of letting our brush strokes work for us here. And keep that paint out of your full if you can. See, we got a little bit, probably a little bit too far in there. I don't know, the G-inch is there we go. So we'll have to clean that today because you don't want to leave that in there. I got a little excited. Got a little ahead of myself. There we go. Even more hairy. Hairy, so hairy. Man, so many crazy things happened this weekend that I want to talk about. It's not exactly YouTube friendly. I want to rant about medical insurance and other topics. You know which one. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't, it's not the way to do it. If you're talking about what I'm thinking about, the crazy thing that happened this weekend. Which I think we can talk about it. Just got to be careful what you say exactly. You cannot allow madmen to dictate how things work. Things have to continue in the way that they're going to continue, whichever way that ends up being, because this is how people are. Governments move around and change. There's the rhetoric's got to come down. The rhetoric's got to come down. Otherwise we are gonna have a problem, like a real problem. And that's where it is. Yeah, one madman with a weapon went and just created a bigger mess than he probably anticipated. And right now, you got to be. Things are so crazy in this world as far as like information and misinformation that you really have to take your time, wait to see what really happened, because right now nobody knows. Nobody knows what this guy was capable of, what he was doing it, why he was doing things, the way he was doing things, we don't know any of that stuff. And people are just flying off the handle. The conspiracies are already out of control. You got people blaming other politicians for things that are definitely, like, I mean, you just can't have it all. You can't sit there and point fingers right now unless it comes out that there's some evidence here. But that's the thing is, right now everybody's running off half-cocked, no evidence, no idea what's really happening. They're just letting the fear take them and run them across all of this. And we can't have that. That's gonna lead to more people doing this, because the people want attention, and it'll just get worse. It says, oh yeah, my girlfriend constantly underestimated how fast the internet is to put a million things out the second it happens. Oh yeah, it's insane. It's insane. And you have to be careful. You can't get swept up in it. You have to, if you want to be a mature, well-centered, well-thoughtful adult, then you definitely need to, like, slow the roll a little bit. Oh yeah, once that dries up, that should be money. You can kind of see the idea there, even though those aren't the right pieces. That should look pretty freaking slick. Yes, that is definitely what we want to do. All right, so at least we got that done. We did the wrong side, which is a little irritating, but you know, that's right. I'll pop myself back in if I can. There we go. So yeah, it's crazy. Everybody stay safe out there, and try not to get swept up in anything too quickly. Just, take time to let things fiddle out. They'll kind of filter out, and things will go. And remember that people's knee-jerk reaction is most often wrong. But it's it's a weird wild world out there, and hopefully this gets people to stop being so dang crazy about it all and chill out a little bit. I don't have a whole lot of hope for that. People are pretty worked up right now. Stay safe, love people. Don't believe everything you read. Let the dust settle, and it'll show itself for what it really is. That is wise words, sir. And it is. You really just kind of have to wait and see what's going to really happen, and that's all there is to it. Yeah. Hopefully, like I said, this creates a chance for some unity instead of sowing more division, because that's what we really kind of need. So anyway, that was not the best note to end a show on. But I felt like it was okay to address that. It was a part of all of our shared consciousness, So, like, you can't just ignore reality, especially on something like a live show. You can't ignore what's really going on out there. So yeah, you gotta definitely bring those things up. That's why it's live. So there you go. I just violence is never really the answer. Just coming from a guy that that used to like to fight. But you know, we always fought for fun. Like, we were fighting because it was fun. Not to try and... We weren't trying to commit violence to make everyone else act a certain way or do a certain thing. It was always just to kind of have a good time. We would just, you know, kids. As I got older, I stopped all that because it's not good, y'all. It's just not. Anyway, my heart goes out to the guy who died and his family. That shit's crazy. I Harry dove in front of everybody and made himself a hero, which is awesome. But it's super sad because that's a family, you know. But seriously, it really isn't. Made some of my best friends do. I made some of my best friends do dumb fighting. Well, I said for fun. Yeah. You know, it's, you know, when you're a kid and you're just scrapping around, or, you know, you get in a stupid fight over a girl or money or something ridiculous. You know, whatever. But like trying to change politics with a weapon is not the answer. It's never the answer, because it's just gonna. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. Honestly, it's not gonna change that much. It's not gonna change people's opinion of what they believe in, their core values. You're not gonna change that by shooting somebody. You know. I don't know. When we find out a motive, there'll be a lot more to that. So, maybe we'll have more to talk about this tomorrow. Maybe not. It'd be nice when it's all over and the election is done and everyone can just go back to being their normal crazy selves instead of the ultra hyped up crazy selves that we are when there's elections going on. Anyway, you guys are awesome. I really do appreciate you coming by. This is definitely not a politics place, but occasionally we talk about stuff like that. And I don't judge anyone for their political affiliations, and I'm not gonna bring up mine, and I'm not gonna push any agendas, because that's not what this show's about. This show's about painting crazy stuff like that, like this crazy lion guy. This guy is nuts, absolutely nuts. Like, look how big he is compared to my face. Like, this model is huge. Oh. I did not break anything. The model's huge. Anyway, that's about it. I'm going to go do some things, get some stuff done. I'm going to hit my exercise bike. I've been losing some weight. So I'm going to... Yeah, he's huge. He's big. This is going to be an opus, man. Like an opus of my skills and talents. I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to have this one done and spin him up. I don't know how we're going to fit him in the light box. I think he might be too tall for my light box. So I don't know how I'm going to take pictures of him. So I'm going to have to figure that out, which is fun. Anyway, it's enough yapping. We're going to talk to you guys later. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you all so much. This is your Odyssey. It's been a trip. Oh, wait, before I forget. 250 is the next big model. We're going to do this guy. He's big too. He's not quite as big, but it's a big guy. He's big. This is really old school. This is an old school Warhammer piece. It's a lot of fun. Who knows? If it turns out really well, I might even try to enter it. Maybe we'll put up a good scenery on him, and we'll see if we can't send him over to Golden Demon for next year. So I've always wanted to enter the Golden Demon, and this might be the one to do it with. This would be fun. A lot of Warhammer people would like seeing him because he's super old. He's like as old as my wife. Like the 80. I think he's 85 or 84. Is what that year that is. So that was a long time ago. Anyway, you guys have been amazing. I appreciate all of you. Get me up to 250. We'll paint that guy. And okay, that's that's it for real this time. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.